Hi, Michelle Gomez here, coming to you live from the eClub platform for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Los Angeles. I'm coming to you today with our exciting new College Bound workshop series, and we will explore every time we have our College Bound program a little bit more about this college admissions process, demystifying some of the stuff around it, really getting you all comfortable and familiar with what to expect. Uh, Today's workshop is on California's institutions of higher education, and it's really meant to be an intro to what is available for you after high school. There's a lot of times I get kids come to me and they're like, Miss Michelle, how do I know if I should go to a private school, if I should go to a UC, to a CSU? And the answer really is it depends, right? So let's explore a little bit about why it all matters. So here in California, we are very fortunate that our public education, post-secondary education in particular, is very, very strong. We have 3 public systems available to students after they graduate from high school, and that includes the California Community College system, the California State University system, and the University of California system. I know, lots of Californias in there. It's really annoying to get them straight. So just kind of know that one is the community college system, the other one always has CSU in front of it, and the other one has UC. Still a lot of letters, but definitely it'll become more familiar as we kind of get into each little, particular system. Before we kind of get started, everything that we're doing today kind of ties in first and foremost with what your educational career goals are. Right now, you're a high school student, maybe you're prepping, you're thinking about the future, and you're not really quite sure if you're going for a 4-year program or you're trying to get some type of certificate. The start is kind of narrowing down what you want to do professionally in the future. Now, CSUs and UCs are a great place to explore those types of options if you're not really sure. I would say that if you are going to a community college for an associate's or certificate program, you do kind of have to be sure that that's a career pathway that you be interested in doing. And the reason why is because you're going to spend some time doing that it would kind of be a little bit redundant for you to just decide halfway through that's not something you want to do. We're going to do a couple of career interest surveys and things like that that'll help you kind of start thinking about that if you're unsure. But in the meantime, we're going to go over what each of these mean. So a community college offers, like I said, associates and certificates. Associates and certificate programs range in time, could really be anywhere from a 3-month program, a 4-month program, or could be as long as sometimes, 2 to 3 years to get an associate's degree. A university would be something like a CSU or a UC. Usually they offer master's programs in these 2 systems, with the exception of CSU that only offers them if they are jointly doing it with a UC system. A PhD and a master's can only be applied for after you've completed a bachelor's degree program, meaning that you would have had to have gone through a university, completed your bachelor's program, and then apply again for a master's or PhD program. We'll be focusing on more of that undergraduate piece, but maybe in the future we can do something about post-secondary studies as well. So this California systems of higher education that we have here, they range, right? For example, the community college has 114 campuses all throughout California. Some of the names you might recognize locally include Harbor College, Southwest College, Santa Monica, LA Trade Tech. These campuses are accepting applicants on a revolving basis, which means I can apply today, I can apply tomorrow, I can apply whenever I want to and start for the next program cycle, right? Which is usually broken down by fall, spring, winter, and summer session. From there, the community college system is considered a 2-year institution, meaning that they have a lot of career and technical pathways, like I talked about. For example, I had a partnership at another program before with like Shell, right? The oil company. And did you guys know that there's an oil processing program at like LA Harbor College? And if you complete the program, are able to secure a job at Shell, you can start off with, a career making 80,000 off the bat, right, for a 2-year program. So these are the type of like career and technical pathways you want to keep an eye out for. There's a lot of booming industries out there. Even things like engineering can be something you get an associate's degree, which means 2 years time and get a job that's fairly decent in wages. The cost of tuition is about $46 per unit. A class has anywhere between 3 to 4 units. So for the year, you're looking at about $1,380. The CSU system, or the Cal State system, has 23 campuses. Some big names you might recognize are Long Beach, Cal State LA, Cal Poly, or Dominguez Hills. They have a strict deadline. Their application opens on October 1st and closes November 30th. They are considered 4-year institutions with graduate and professional programs. Again, they have everything from bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, teaching credentials. The only thing that you might want to check on, and they might have limited options in, are doctorate programs, again, because they can only do it with the joint partnership of a University of California. The cost for attending a CSU is $6,972 a year, and that's for CSUN. And this does not include the cost of housing. It only includes the cost of sitting in the classroom and going to school. Next, we have the University of California, which has 10 campuses, but you might be more familiar with 9. The reason being that UC San Francisco is only for graduate and professional studies. So then the other 9 options, include UCLA, of course, UC Santa Barbara, UC Irvine, some of the big names. They have also a strict deadline. Their application opens up November 1st and closes on the 30th. It is considered a 4-year institution with all degrees, including doctorates and professionals such as law, medicine, and dentistry. The average cost is approximately $13,239, and that's for UCLA. Again, that's just to sit in the class and go to school. It does not include the very, very high cost of living in LA. And then there's private and independent colleges, big names like USC, Mount St. Mary's, Loyola Marymount, all great universities with great names and reputations. These are 2- and 4-year institutions. For example, Mount St. Mary's does offer some 2-year associate's degree programs as part of their, course offerings. But there are, campuses like USC that offer all the way through doctoral programs, including law and medicine. The average cost for somewhere like USC is about $57,000, and that's a really, really steep cost in comparison to like somewhere like UCLA. Again, there are scholarships available, and we will talk more about that when we go through the financial aid system that we offer here in California. But something to think about, right? Want to make sure that if you are shooting for that USC, you are thinking about how you will be applying for scholarships to help pay for that. A closer look at CSU and the UC. Here is a comparison chart, and this comparison chart I will include in the template for today's presentation. Take a look at it because it does have some items that I did not put on here, but the main purpose of me showing you this today is really I want to point out that just because you are CSU eligible does not mean that you are UC eligible. So let's look at one main thing right here at the top, right? You'll notice that it'll say that for the UC system, 11 of the required college prep coursework, aka your A through Gs, must be completed before your senior year. So what this means is that you need to make sure that if you are wanting to be eligible for UC, that you're taking at least 11 of your UC required courseworks before you begin senior year. Another major difference, and I'll point that out, is in the math section. Students applying to the UC system must take geometry as one of the requirements, where CSU just requires the 3 years of math, including Algebra 1 and 2. So be mindful again that when you're applying to these campuses, there are small differences, and this does apply not just for undergraduate or for freshman applicants, but it also applies for transfer applicants, people coming from the community college system looking to transfer. So with that, we'll talk a little bit about community colleges. California's community colleges serve as a gateway for youth to enter the four-year college systems, right? But more than that, and I really want to emphasize this, is that they also offer a great platform for vocational careers. For example, I gave you the Shell example, but there's a wide variety of other smaller careers that you can really go for at our community colleges. They offer a variety of programs. I've toured Long Beach City's program for electricians. It is amazing. They teach you everything about wiring a home. And these jobs are things that are in demand, right? People will always need their switches and plugs fixed. People will, and this is a dangerous job because you have to know what you're doing. So they do pay well and provide a very viable option. If you're that student that's like, hey, I'm really good with my hands, I love, learning about electricity, that might be a great career for you. So really don't discount community colleges for their shorter term programs. And if I do offer one piece of advice is like, sometimes you'll see on TV those commercials for like those programs, like get your degree in 2 months or your certificate in 4 months. A lot of the times, if you go into like your local community college's website, odds are that program is offered there for, again, that low cost of $1,300 and something dollars. You can't beat that, right? Because if you call those other campuses that come on the TV, a lot of times they're really expensive when the same exact program is offered somewhere locally to you at a much more affordable rate. So in summary, right, California community colleges are a great gateway to a UC or CSU campus, but they also offer certificates and vocational programs that can mean major money for you, right? And a very stable career. They are affordable and they are local, so they are a viable option for you in the future. And really think about them as more than just my way to transfer, but really look at some of their other up and coming vocational programs. I will note that there are many benefits to attending a community college, but as someone who was an intern for a counselor at a community college, I will say that there is a large course or caseload of students that counselors have. And as a result, you will sometimes find it extremely difficult to kind of really navigate through the system of transferring. There's a lot of resources out there, a lot of information for you to follow, but the best bet for you to follow is just to be on top of it yourself, right? Make sure that you're being informed on the latest information for transferring. If you are looking at it as more of a pathway to just kind of go to a CSU or a UC, it does take someone who's very on top of ensuring they're pushing themselves to get to that next step. And that's just the reality. There are a lot of people looking to access higher education now more than ever. So just be mindful of these things when considering your options. And that concludes the presentation. So we really will be exploring kind of what your future career goals are and how does these systems play a role into it to kind of determine not just one option for after high school, but really more options that you can have outside of just the typical I'm going to this school and that's it kind of thing. So if you have any questions, please again email me at our BGCMLA eClub email, and I'd be happy to answer them. And I will see you again for our workshop tomorrow, and I hope you all have a great day.